Yes, I was thinking the other day something that I occasionally do. Um, I I just wondered whether anybody else had come across this. Did anyone get any clues from my cryptic comment in the reminder? No,
Too
Not
cryptic.
remember.
didn't didn't think about it. Okay, let's just show. I'm going to show a slideshow, so I'm going to share my screen. I was thinking about punctuation uh, and something that we all do from time to time, I'm sure, at the business of punctuation marks. I came across a new punctuation mark. Um, I don't know whether anybody else has seen this, so I'll ask at the end. And then I thought, well, I'd better find out about old punctuation ones. Can everybody see that
Yeah.
screen?
Yes, thank you.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Oh,
So I did, and of course, our old friend, the full stop. Everyone knows about this. It separates sentences, of course. But where did it come from? I found
ah,
that it derived from Greek punctuation, introduced by our old friend Aristophanes of Byzantium in the 3rd century BCE, which is really useful information for everybody.
should know that.
I shall be asking questions at
We
the end.
should, shouldn't we?
And it's also used in other ways, of course, to end words of abbreviation. So
Yeah.
F after letters of acronyms U.S.A. Though this is declining, as stop to end telegrams when there were telegrams, as an ellipsis, several dots to indicate omitted words, and of course as a decimal separator in maths. And then we came across the comma, same shape as an apostrophe. Another development from Aristophanes, he was very busy, originally indicating the amount of breath needed to complete each phrase when reading aloud. So he used to put a number of commas there, indicating if the breath necessary was short or long. I didn't know that.
Mm. Mm.
And it shows that words immediately before the comma are less closely linked grammatically to those immediately after it. And then, of course, the Oxford comma has been in the news more recently.
Oh,
This derives from commas placed between items in a list. So, an example, I lost my heart in San Francisco, New York, London, and Exeter. The comma in red is the Oxford comma, and the dispute is whether it should be there at all.
mm.
Not needed.
Many
Not
people
needed.
think it shouldn't. And then that's the comma. The next one, slightly more advanced, is the question mark. There was a need to show when somebody was asking a question, somebody thought, and a question marker of sorts was first used in the 5th century. A similar mark appeared around 780 Common Era. Today's question mark appeared around 1850. And of course, in Spanish, they use opening, i.e., inverted, and closing question marks at both the beginning and end of a question.
Okay.
So you know right from the start that this is going to be a question, which is interesting. I wonder why we don't do that.
Mm.
Then,
That's complicated.
yeah. Next on the list, the exclamation mark, used to indicate strong feelings or to show emphasis. It can be traced back to the Middle Ages when scribes would add various marks to indicate changes in tone, etc. In the US, in the 1950s, it was referred to as a bang. It's thought that this derived from children's comics showing gunshots or punches, and there have been warnings against its use. So someone said, overly frequent use of the exclamation mark is generally considered poor writing as it distracts the reader and decreases the mark's significance.
Cheeky things.
Wrong. Disagree.
F. Scott Fitzgerald said, cut out all these exclamation points. An exclamation point is like laughing at your own joke.
Whoa!
Other uses of the exclamation mark. In mathematics, the exclamation mark is used to indicate factorial.
Yeah, know that.
Question mark is shorthand for 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1
I've
equals
never met that.
20.
Never heard of that.
Yeah, well, now you know. And then,
Wow.
of course, an exclamation mark is often used as a warning. So, that's a quick run through some common punctuation marks.
That's brilliant.
But now, thank you. Now we get to the point of all this. If in case you didn't realise there was a point.
Yeah, we did. We did.
We know three and we knew there would be.
We come to the new punctuation mark. Someone decided that there was a need for expressing something else. But what? This person felt that we should be able to ask a question in an excited manner, in disbelief, in utter confusion. That's me. Or even a rhetorical question. But who was he or she?
Ooh.
1962, an American, Martin K. Spector, decided it was time to remedy this deficiency. He invented a mark which combined the question mark and the exclamation mark. But what to call it? These were suggested. The exclama quest or the exclama.
Oh,
God.
for goodness sake.
What does it look like? Oh,
They decided interrobang.
No.
Interrobang. Has anyone heard of that before?
No.
No.
Certainly wouldn't use it.
I've
Thank
not
you.
even
We
seen
don't
it
want it.
before.
You say that now, perhaps you will in future. So,
It's not on the iPad.
that's right. I'm coming to all of that. It's used to convey a sense of surprise or disbelief, add energy to a question, cause shock or incredulity. For example, she said what to him? Represent an excited inquiry. For example, they won a trip to Spain from a radio show. Just as a question mark in Spanish, sentences begin with an inverted interrobang, as well as the standard one. So, acabo de descubrir el interrobang. I've just
No.
It's fascinating.
Oh,
Here's something more to be fascinated about. Here are examples of the correct use of an interrobang. Henry's leaving the company after only 2 months.
Exclamation mark would do.
My apartment. Why on earth would Wendy do that? You're telling me you've never seen an episode of Seinfeld? How could you forget our anniversary? Dad ate the last slice of pizza after I told him I wanted it. You're really wearing that to the party? And finally, if you want to type an interrobang, getting back to the previous comment, you have a problem. Only few fonts contain it, and few keyboards do. But there's a font that contains nothing but. I wonder what the font's name is. Interrobang font. If you wanted to find out about that, there's a link. And if you want to know what the font looks like, the interrobang. Every key that you press gives you an interrobang. And you can download the font zip file from there if you wanted.
No.
Oh, I think I'll do that, Ian.
And finally, in certain programs, you can type an interrobang by typing 203 capital D then holding down the Alt key and typing X.
No.
That's
It's like hard work.
and that's how I type that symbol there.
Did you discover that yourself?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well done.
Well done.
No, I didn't discover the Alt key. I found that. And say, you can't do that, can you? And then I just did.
Yeah.
Those
Good.
examples that you just gave us a few screens back, were they your examples?
No, I copied them.
All right.
Cool with me as I'm too.
But that is brilliant, Ian. That really is
Thank you
brilliant.
very much for putting that together for us.
Thank you for doing it.
Well done.
Before I really finished, it's just an afterthought that I thought you'd appreciate.
Yeah.
Well done.
I asked ChatGPT AI a few questions. Best response was to this question. Why did the turbo cross the road? You asked the chicken why.
It's worse. Lovely.
Well, great. That is great. Well done. Thank you.
That's great fun.
That's very, very good.
And I have heard a different reply to get to the other side.
Yeah.
There was an interesting innovation with the full stop mentioned on the radio the other evening. I forget the name of the chap who sort of invented it, and that was putting the full stop into email addresses. Which they didn't have a full stop, and they were very difficult to sort of read, how to pronounce them. And this chap put the full stop into things like uk.org and gmail.com.
Yeah.
And it simplified email addresses hugely. So that's another use of the full stop. It's very recent, apparently. Well,
that's interesting. Yeah.